So, my dear Aquarius, the sun has moved into Pisces, and here in Osho Zen Tarot, Pisces, or the moon, is connected with the past lives, and we see the two hands that form a vagina and the people that are waiting to come into this world, and here the people that are living now in this world. The two salamanders that are guarding this portal. And so here we have, of course, Neptune ruling Pisces, and Neptune is ruling our dreams and our mental state or consciousness. The yoga position I gave here for Pisces is the upward and the downward facing dog, and of course here fish pose in the moon. Now the sun is giving the light to the moon, and the moon is in your sign. You are Apollo up here sitting in front of the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is a building that was built for the eternal love that we can have for someone. And here the sun god Apollo is looking over to the moon card. And so what's really interesting is that the sun is a dwarf star. A star is much bigger than the sun, right? And so you looking over into the past lives, into now the sun, which is in Pisces. Pisces is the subconscious and is looking deep within, brings now here maybe a memory of a past life. And so here you are sitting thinking about that past life. And of course you are ruled by Uranus, the revolutionary planet, right? But also the new beginnings, and everything that's new is at first a revolution, or almost like something that we have to fear, right? And so here Uranus ruling you brings us always a new perspective, a perspective from up high. Now I gave you side plank with stretching one leg and one arm up, and of course we have one arm and one leg down here on earth and on water. And that's what you do. You bring the water back to the earth and the water. But you're not a water sign. You are an air sign. And that's why you stretch yourself up into the sky. So this combination exists really only once a year. But if we include, of course, all the other planets, this moment exists really only once in your life. And so it's really important that we recognize these moments, right? Particularly when the moon is in your sign and you have now the opportunity to look deep, right? Deep within now through the sun in the moon, right? Into your past lives, but particularly in this life. You are the 11th house of community and technology. And so very important for you. You're already a part of the 11th, right? And of course you are, as the Aquarius, the visionary, and you see the future and you see the new technology that is coming now here to us. If your birthday is between January 9th and February 7th, this is your court card, the King of Swords. The birds are really loud. I think they want to tell me something. Really interesting. I have here this tree underneath the window, and sometimes they're so loud, and the louder I get, the louder they get, right? So here in this deck we have a feminine and a masculine king, and so this is your court card. If not, look please in the description below. I have listed all the cards that I'm using, and of course all the court dates as well. Back to the last reading where you had Aquarius, Sun and New Moon, right? It was the soul inspiration. Pluto visiting you for 20 years brings you deeper into the mystical. So Pluto has moved into Aquarius. Pluto is the shadow side and the mystical. And interesting enough, it's going to go for 2 months back into Capricorn. but then it's gonna really stay for 20 years in your sign. And so it's, yeah, it's gonna bring a strong transformation and also a deeper understanding of the mystical. Neptune is also ruling the Hanged Man. And so as an overall energy, I want to see what the Hanged Man is bringing to you. On the Hanged Man, I connect here with the Creativity Oracle, because to hang upside down, we get a new perspective, right? And that new perspective is important because through that new perspective, we can create art, or we are connected to our surrounding in a whole new way, right? And so we're going to look at the Creativity Oracle, what the Hanged Man is bringing to you. The Hanged Man is the 12th major arcana. And so here we have the 10, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 2, the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is very important because she is the intuition. And through the intuition, we recognize that signs are speaking to us. So let's have a look what is wanting to come here to you as an inspiration through the Hanged Man. We get here this card, and it's called Resistance. The number is 65, and the message is understanding why you resist what you have to do is a crucial part of the creative process. So the 65, which is, when we calculate it together, an 11. And you are the 11, right? The 11th house of community and technology. And so have a look into what are you resisting. Understand why you resist what you have to do is a crucial part of the creative process. So it means you need to look deeper into the energy that is blocking you or making that resistance. And it's really interesting because it looks like this is you. You have here this white animal, and look what you have here in the sky. And here, look at that, you have the shell of Venus. And so, of course, the 12 turns into a 3, the Empress. So here we have a date, the 11th of March or the 3rd of November. So you can pick the 11th of March or the 3rd of November. And of course, the resistance comes because sometimes we don't want to hang upside down. We feel like, okay, this is too much, right? And of course, in yoga, we do that willingly so that we get a completely new perspective of what's going on around us. And so I'm going to continue the reading on the position of the Fool, right? Which is, of course, connected with also Uranus. The Fool is that new beginning comes here, the Knight of Pentacles. And the Knight of Pentacles is Virgo. And you see he is walking into the resistance. And so here the 6th zodiac sign, or the 6th house of health and routine, is walking into the resistance, is walking into this date. So it's almost like here the 11th of March, something important is happening, which is pretty soon. And you are recognizing that this date is really important because you are bringing the material aspect into this date, the 11th of March. And so I think there is a really important message here through the Fool that is saying, go deep and have a look and see what routine can you achieve so that you can take care of this resistance, right? That you must do so that things can be more creative in your life. Then on the position of the Magician, which is connected with Mercury. Mercury, the messenger, and the messenger here brings you the arrow, the number 3, but only one arrow that is pointing up at the Magician, which is also the 1, right? He is the 1, and there is one arrow, and so the 1 and the 3 creates the 4, and the 4 is then the 4 elements, the Emperor, and also the heart, to know that here speaks to you an inspiration to become clear-minded and to focus on the magic in life, to not doubt, because he has all 4 elements here. He has the sword, he has the cup, he has the pentacle, and he also has the wand, right? And so here you get, through Mercury, the information. Understand, the arrow is pointing up, so look up into the sky, look up into what's happening here above him, right? And so I want to know, what is the arrow bringing? And the arrow is bringing you the 8 of Cups, which is Saturn in Pisces, and the 8 of Cups is pointing to the left. And so there is an emotional reluctance to go out, because we were reading for 6 months inwards, and your last reading, Aquarius Sun and New Moon, is actually arriving deep within. And so deep within you have realized something. You have the 8. The 8 is then, when the 17 is calculated together, your number, right? The strength that you gain. And so the 4 and the 8 is the 12. The 12, the 3 is left, and the 3 again here through the Hangman brought you the resistance. What are you resisting, right? In an emotional level, right? To let go so that you can go to the 9, because here you're facing still the left, and also here you are facing the left, but you need to understand the reading is going to the right, is going back to your full moon, right? Then on the position of the High Priestess. So the High Priestess brings you, right, the pages of swords, which are here the Princess of Swords, and these are all 3 air signs, which is Gemini, Libra, and you. And so we have the 2 and the 3 creates a 5. The 5 are, for me, always the 5 senses, right? The difficulties that the 5 senses bring us here in this dimension. And so this young you is feeling the intuition, is feeling that you are needing to connect, that you are needing to understand that everything always brings you a sign. From a young age, you notice the sign. You notice here this arrow, right, which is the sword, which is connected with you, right? You are the female queen who puts the stars on her skirt, and you are also maybe more a masculine samurai who is not using his sword, he's only using it to defend the weak, right? And so here you see that the arrow is bringing you the message, the 3, the Empress, the 3, right? And so connect with that and understand then the 5 here are the 5 senses, and that your intuition is always challenged by the 5 senses. Then on the position of the Empress comes here the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man, of course, right, we know is that reverse, is that seeing the resistance. What are you resisting? What are you not wanting to let go? And now you pushed and forced to let go, right? Because here you have an 11. And so this is really speaking directly to you, right? The 11 is, again, the 11th house of community and technology. So what are you resisting? Because the 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 2 is the High Priestess that brought you here, your younger you. And so now you get, when you calculate together the 3, the 33, you can give birth to new creations. You can let go, right, of what you think you need to be. You can understand the vision, because the 33 is the 33 degrees in the secret brotherhoods. And the 33 degree is like the hexagram, the two triangles that are interlacing. And so the Empress brings you here Venus, and Venus is beauty and love and also the money. And look how the money is literally falling out of your pockets or out of these bags. And it's always 5 and 5, right? And so you had the 5 here. So see the 33 degree, right, that the secret brotherhood gave people who have arrived, and there are not many who have arrived to get that kind of title. Then on the position of Aquarius in the moon, you get the High Priestess, right? So I have a German and an English deck. That's why I was able to have here the High Priestess from the German deck as here you as the younger you, and here we see that you are awakening to the High Priestess that is within you. You are the number 17, the 17 plus the 2 is the 19. Then you can be like the sun, the dwarf star, but you are a star. You don't need to be like the sun. You are a star. You're bigger than the sun, right? And so the 19 is, of course, then the sun. The 19 is then also calculated together the 10. And the 10 is the wheel of fortune. Everything is moving and spinning. But I can also calculate the 17 into an 8, and the 8 then plus the 2 is the 10. So the 10, no matter what, is left. A new cycle, a new movement is happening deep within you. You're recognizing, right, that the moon is now bringing you inspiration through maybe the past lives that you have lived. And so here you are becoming now this very strong High Priestess who listens to the inspiration, who listens to the intuition, right, when we hang upside down. And so just really understand that. Then on the position of the King of Swords, I'm going to use the masculine one, you get here the 8 of Swords. And the 8 of Swords is connected with the constellation Jupiter in Gemini. And Gemini has come up, of course, here through the pages, right? Gemini, Libra, and you. And so recognize that you are big, that you are in your intuition big. You understand what's happening here. You're huge and you don't need to cage yourself in. You are really not needing to make yourself small, because as a star, you're huge. You're bigger than the sun, right? You're bigger than here the sun that is letting you know, right, to now really go into your intuition, to really know that the 19 here is the sun. You don't need to be the sun. You are a star, and you put stars on your skirt, right? You're huge, you're big. And so come out of this, like, I am this small little being and I have no saying, right? Because Jupiter is the planet of expansion. And so expand into what Gemini brings, the communication, right? Expand into the arrow, right? Expand into Mercury, because Gemini is also connected with Mercury. So here we have the 8 and of course the 11. So this could be also a date, the 11th of August, right? Or the 8th of November. And so you can pick. In August, right, you're going to get your full moon, so maybe the 11th of August is more suitable to you, because that's when you get your full moon, right, in the month of Leo. So remember, right, Leo is opposite of you, and that's where you're going. You're going out to Leo. You're going out to show how big you are, who you truly are, right? Then on the position of the Pisces in the sun comes here patience. And patience is connected with Saturn in Taurus, and you see she is pregnant, and you see the moon phases, and you see also that here the 6th house of routine and preciseness is actually letting you know you can always look up to the moon. You can always be connected with the moon because it has always guided us, right? And so the 18, which turns into a 9, the 9 and the 7 is the 16, and the 16 is then the Tower. Something's got to go so that you can get out of this cage and become again this beautiful goddess. Look at her. She is just like, she's patiently waiting for the right moment, and the right moment is always coming, because the 7 is left, and the 7 is then Cancer, is the Chariot, is the emotional intelligence that you get by connecting here with this energy, right? Through the sun that is now in Pisces, in the subconscious, you are understanding here the message very clear. Then, on the position of the moon, as the moon oracle is speaking here to you, comes here the heart home, the compassion, the number 27. Now the 20 again is your calling, the last judgment, and the 7 is the 7 in your card, the emotional intelligence that Cancer is bringing, and calculated together we get a 9. So the 18 is a 9, we have a 9-9 portal here. And the 9-9 portal is saying, so have a look into the completion. Feel that you're having a home. Feel that you are compassionate with yourself, and that you have arrived in your deepest dreams and subconscious. You have everything you need. But I wanted to see what comes up here, and you get the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is Sun in Gemini. But you already have here the 8 of Swords, which was Jupiter in Gemini. So you have 18 swords. 18 is again the moon. And the moon brought you patience, the 7, the emotional intelligence to understand and to connect, right? And so the 18 with the 18 swords, it's 9 swords left, right? But nevertheless, you have here a 10. So the 9 and the 10 is the 19, is again the sun. Recognize that the sun is small, is a dwarf star, and you are a star. So you don't need to go into this, right? This is now facing, of course, the left, and so it's still this introverted energy, right? Knowing that maybe you need to really wake up who you truly are, right? Because these women are really running away from their captors, right? They're rather jump into the water and kill themselves than being captured by these men, right? Sorry, it's just for a moment I was like, what's going on here? And then I realized it was upside down. So see that these women are jumping into the water, right? And that they don't want to be captured. And so wake up to a new consciousness that is coming here to you, and that you are now on the path outwards again, on the path out to the full moon. Then on the position of the sun comes here the mountain, the number 16. Then you gain a certain clarity, and that clarity is making you realize you are huge, right? She has moved out of the cage. She has realized, right, the maturity in us is important, and she has realized that there is inside of her, the true home is her heart, and that this situation is actually an end of now this, right? The 18, and now here you get the clarity, the 16, which is then calculated together, the 7, And here the 19 is the 10. The 10 and the 7 is the 17. Here you come up, then you are here, and understand who you really are. You are a star. Pluto visiting you for 20 years brings you deeper into the mystical. So you are now realizing the mystical. You are realizing that deep down the message is that this is your home, right? And remember, here came also the High Priestess. And the High Priestess needs a home. And remember, here on the Sun came here the patience, and the patience pays off. You are lying here and you're like, oh my God, how amazing is this, right? I have arrived. And then the 8 is left. And so I want to know, what are you feeling here? What's coming up here? And you get the 20, the last judgment. Here in this card, it's the Ankh, it's Venus that is putting the rainbow colors over the earth. And so the 8 and the 2 is the 28, and the 28 again is then the 10. The 10 that's saying begin a new cycle, because it's important that we understand the 10 is the new 1, right? And so you begin a new cycle to be this big influence on others, this big person that was in a cage but is not in a cage anymore. And so the 10 is talking here to you. Very clear. Be the magic, right? Spread the magic, because this light becomes here. You see this? Oh my God, right? It's like sometimes when moments like this happen, I'm always like, oh my God, there's the light, and there's the light, and then we get all the colors coming out of just this white light. And then at the end, here, the last card on the position of the world, you get the 8 of Cups again. And the 8 of Cups came up here. Remember, the octopus that is holding all these cups, right? And that you are emotionally understanding that the 8 and the 3 creates an 11, and that the 11 plus the magician is actually 3 times the 1. And 3 times the 1 is you find the power to really be yourself now. You find the power to really go out there. You find the power to see, hey, I am not in a cage anymore. I have created my own completion in my heart, right? I see that everything is now fulfilled, and the 8 and the 3 of the 21 of the world is the 11. Here you are again, right? The 11th house of community and technology. Recognize that you are the 11. You are the inner teacher. You are the inner knowledge that is coming here to you. And then you can walk on, right? And you see here the new moon, but you're going to your full moon now, right? And so you walk on where you're walking into the resistance, right? You know that there was an emotional resistance that blocked you from being here. The 11 as well, the 5 and the 6, the 5 senses and the self-love, right? When we understand the 6 is the third eye, the inner eye, and he is looking over at you, and he's literally saying, come to me, right? Finally, right? Because here's an 11 and here's an 11. So you have an 11-11 portal here ending the reading. I mean, how powerful is that, right? And of course, you have the 3 above this 11, the Hangman, and you have a 3 above here, the 8, which then creates the 11. And so the 3-3, right, which you had also here, the 33. Remember? The Empress and the Hangman. Let go and understand. Let go and understand that you don't need to wait for no one. You're huge. You're big. You are, right, the guardian angel that was caged in. And so become this high priestess who knows very clearly what to do and understand. The 8-8 portal as well here, right, with all the other 8s that came up, right? The 8 here, 3 times the 8, the empowerment to be the Earth star, to be a true star, is coming here as an 11-11 portal here at the end, letting you know you are sometimes the resistance. It's deep within you. It's not someone else, right? And so just see that and awaken to that and see how big you are, and that you can now move on and move into the full moon, which is then in your opposite sign, Leo. Wow. What a beautiful reading, right? I'm always amazed how clear the cards are talking, and so I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the sun in Aries. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.